Ivan Toney, according to the FA, a banned football player, gambled on his team to lose. According to the Sports Association, Ivan Toney, who was banned from all sports for 8 months for breaching the betting laws, supported his club to lose. The Brentford and England striker was suspended from all football activities last week until January 16 after admitting to 232 betting rule violations between February 2017 and January 2021. The FA stated in its written justification for the 8-month suspension that between August 2017 and March 2018, Toney placed 13 wagers on his club to lose in 7 different games. 2 of those wagers were against Wigan, where he was at the time on loan, and the other 2 were against Newcastle United, his old side. The FA said that the punishment was cut from 11 months to 8 because of his stellar record, genuine regret, and gambling addiction diagnosis. The FA said, of those 29 bets, there were 13 bets on Mr. Toney's own team to lose in 7 different matches between the 22nd of August 2017 and the 3rd of March 2018. Mr. Toney did not play in any of those matches where he placed bets against his loan club as he was not in the match squad or against his parent club as he was on loan. Of the 13 bets, 11 were against Newcastle whilst Mr. Toney was on loan at another club. The other 2 bets related to a game between Wigan versus Aston Villa whilst the player was on loan at Wigan but he was not part of the squad. It added, there is no evidence that Mr. Toney did or was even in a position to influence his own team to lose when he placed bets against them winning. He was not in the squad or eligible to play at the time. The 27-year-old will not be permitted to play again until January 2024 as a result of the punishment, although he will be permitted to resume training in September. Toney received a suspension as well as a £50,000 fine. Toney underwent 2 interviews with psychiatrist Dr. Philip Hopley, who concluded that he had a history of gambling addiction. The FA document said, the Commission finds that a significant reduction should be made to reflect the diagnosed gambling addiction identified by Dr. Hopley. The lack of control the player has in respect of gambling is clearly a reflection of his diagnosed gambling addiction. Brentford has promised to help Toney. A club statement read, Ivan and Brentford FC accept that offences were committed, and sanctions were inevitable. After making an unacceptable move during the Coca-Cola 600, Denny Hamlin says Chase Elliott shouldn't be racing. After the 2 drivers failed to complete the Coca-Cola 600 on Monday, Denny Hamlin is not happy with Chase Elliott. Elliott allegedly hit Hamlin's right rear on lap 186 of the race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is the same thing that Bubba Wallace did with Kyle Larson, exact same. He shouldn't be racing. The broadcast says Hamlin went on his radio and called the move complete BS. Elliott claims he did nothing intentional. The 11 ran us up in the fence there, and once you tear the right side off these things, it's kind of over, Elliott said. Once you hit the wall in these things, you can't drive them anymore. Just an unfortunate circumstance. After being assessed, both were let go from the care facility. Elliott did not complete the event the year before either. Rain forced a postponement of the race from Sunday to Monday, then again on Monday owing to the weather. Zlatan Ibrahimovic announces his retirement from football at the age of 41. Zlatan Ibrahimovic of AC Milan has announced his retirement from football at the age of 41, after one of the most illustrious careers of the modern era. "I say goodbye to football but not to you," the Swede told the San Siro crowd after Sunday's last game of the season. Ibrahimovic has already made his intention to quit the Italian team known. He won league championships in 4 nations while scoring 511 goals for clubs including Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United, AC Milan, and both AC and Inter Milan. Ibrahimovic joined AC Milan for a second time in early 2020 after helping them win the Scudetto in 2011 and again the previous year. However, due to a string of ailments, he only made it onto the field for the Serie A team 4 times this season, started 1 game, and scored 1 goal. His contract was supposed to expire this month. "There are too many emotions for me right now. Forza Milan and goodbye," an emotional Ibrahimovic said, holding back tears. "The first time I came here you gave me happiness, the second time you gave me love. You welcomed me with open arms. You made me feel at home. I will be a Milanista for the rest of my life." In a career that started in the previous century, Ibrahimovic won 34 trophies, including 14 league titles, and was nominated for the Ballon d'Or 11 times. The Champions League was the only significant club trophy he has yet to win, and the 2017 Europa League was his sole triumph on the continent while playing for Manchester United. In addition, the striker departs as Sweden's all-time leading scorer with 62 goals in 122 games for his country. After Euro 2016, he left the national team, although he later joined them again in 2021 for their disastrous World Cup qualification campaign. "I've been doing this all my life. Football made me a man. It allowed me to know people I otherwise would never have known. I've traveled the world thanks to football. It's all thanks to football," he told reporters after his announcement. Ibrahimovic began his professional career in 1999 with his local club Malmö FF before transferring to Ajax in 2001, where he spent the next 3 years and won 3 league championships. He then relocated to Italy in 2004 and joined Juventus, where he won 2 league championships that were subsequently removed from the team as a result of the Calciopoli investigation. But before transferring to Barcelona in 2009, the Swede won 3 more Serie A championships with his subsequent team, Inter Milan. Ibrahimovic played for the Catalan club for just 1 season, winning the La Liga championship before going on loan to AC Milan, a transfer that became permanent in 2011. Ibrahimovic moved on again a year later, joining Paris Saint-Germain, where he scored 113 goals in 122 league games and claimed 4 League One championships. He joined Manchester United in July 2016 on a 2-year contract, during which time he won both the League Cup and the Europa League. Ibrahimovic joined with MLS team LA Galaxy in 2018, playing there for 2 seasons before returning to AC Milan. Wednesday's gossip: Gundogan, Kane, Maddison, Lewandowski, Ugarte, Caicedo, Mac Allister, Zaha. Manchester City's Ilkay Gundogan, 32-year-old, could return to Borussia Dortmund this summer as Barcelona cannot afford to pay the out-of-contract Germany midfielder's wages. Barca have tried to persuade Gundogan by extending their contract offer to 3 years with reduced wages, while Arsenal have offered a 2-year deal, and a lucrative proposal is also expected from a Saudi club. Barcelona and Poland striker Robert Lewandowski, 34-year-old, has no plans to leave the club this summer despite being linked with a move to the Saudi Pro League. Real Madrid's first bid for Harry Kane will be for €80 million or £69 million, but Tottenham have initially valued the England striker, 29-year-old, at €120 million or £103 million. Real Madrid have asked Bayern Munich about the possibility of signing Canada left-back Alphonso Davies, 22-year-old. Tottenham will back incoming manager Ange Postecoglou with funds to rival Newcastle for Leicester's England midfielder James Maddison, 26-year-old, and target Brentford's Spain goalkeeper David Raya, 27-year-old, and Wolves' English defender Max Kilman, 26-year-old. Paris Saint-Germain have beaten Chelsea to the signing of Uruguay midfielder Manuel Ugarte, 22-year-old, from Sporting Lisbon. Chelsea have switched their focus to signing Brighton's Ecuador midfielder Moises Caicedo, 21-year-old, after missing out on Ugarte. Chelsea have also revived their interest in Southampton's Belgium midfielder Romeo Lavia, 19-year-old, and former Blues forward Eden Hazard has had a role in a prospective move. Liverpool would be willing to pay Barcelona €35 million or £30 million to sign Ivory Coast midfielder Franck Kessie, 26-year-old. Alexis Mac Allister will sign for Liverpool from Brighton, subject to a medical, with the Argentina midfielder, 24-year-old, understood to have agreed a 5-year contract. Atletico Madrid have inquired about a possible move for Wilfried Zaha. The Ivory Coast forward, 30-year-old, will become a free agent if he decides not to accept a new contract at Crystal Palace. Tottenham have contacted Everton over a potential summer move for England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford but could be put off by the asking price for the 29-year-old, who is under contract until 2027. Aston Villa have joined the race to sign free agent Youri Tielemans, 26-year-old, after the Belgian midfielder's departure from Leicester. Newcastle United have been informed that England midfielder Calvin Phillips, 27-year-old, intends to stay at Manchester City. Newcastle have stepped up their efforts to sign Turkey midfielder Arda Güler, 18-year-old, from Fenerbahce. Inter Milan have made a move to sign English defender Trevor Chalobah, 23-year-old, from Chelsea this summer. Brighton are set to announce the arrival of Germany midfielder Mahmoud Dahoud, 27-year-old, from Borussia Dortmund on a free transfer. West Ham are looking at 3 midfielders. Southampton and England's James Ward-Prowse, 28-year-old, Chelsea and England's Conor Gallagher, 23-year-old, and Manchester United and Scotland's Scott McTominay, 26-year-old. Sweden defender Victor Lindelof, 28-year-old, is set to be offered a new deal at Manchester United. Portugal goalkeeper Diogo Costa, 23-year-old, has cooled talk linking him with a summer move from Porto to Manchester United. Conor McGregor punched the Miami Heat mascot, forcing him to the hospital. The man who portrays Bernie, the mascot of the Miami Heat, found himself in a serious predicament during what was intended to be a light-hearted skit. The victim apparently received a hit from UFC fighter Conor McGregor and was taken to the hospital and given pain medicine. The 34-year-old southpaw watched the match from courtside. He declared his TIDL Sport Body Spray to be the team's new official sponsor during halftime. The mascot then showed up on the court wearing gold boxing gloves after the announcement. The mascot was sent to the ground by a devastating left hook from McGregor, who then hit him while he was still down. After that, Bernie was carried off the floor by Heat in-game entertainers. The patient was later discharged from the hospital. According to The Athletic, McGregor was unaware that his actions truly caused some harm. And the Heat dropped Game 4 to the Denver Nuggets, 108-95, and now trail the NBA Finals by a score of 3-1. If McGregor visits South Beach anytime soon, he won't be helped by the fact that the Miami audience booed him before the punch even happened. Later this year, McGregor is scheduled to fight Michael Chandler in the octagon once more. Since injuring his leg against Dustin Poirier, McGregor has not competed. 3 basketball players from Arkansas State have been accused of stealing. 3 Arkansas State Red Wolves men's basketball players were detained on separate theft accusations on Saturday night. According to their online records of the event, Terrence Ford, Daiwonder Dominguez, and Julian Lewell were all arrested for theft of $1,000 or less by the Craighead County Sheriff's Office in Arkansas. Ultimately, 2 hours after being booked, all 3 players were let go. The athletics department and coach, Brian Hodgson, are aware of the situation and are in the process of gathering all the information, Arkansas State told ESPN in a statement. Once all the details have been obtained, the matter will be addressed in an appropriate manner. While Dominguez, who spent 3 seasons with the UMass Minutemen, went to Arkansas State, Lewell and Ford played for the Red Wolves last year. In 32 games, 15 starts, 6'1" guard Ford of Chicago averaged 10.8 points, 2.8 assists, and 1.3 steals while shooting 43.3% from the field. 4.9 points per game were scored by Florida forward Lewell, a 6'6" player who started 10 of his 32 games. Before moving to Arkansas State before the 2017-18 season, he began his academic career at Nebraska's McCook Community College. Before leaving the Minutemen following the 2022-2023 season, Dominguez, a native of Providence, Rhode Island, played a supporting role for the team while averaging 8.7 points and 4.4 rebounds as a forward. After an alleged rape, Conor McGregor was spotted in a club with the accuser. Conor McGregor is the subject of severe allegations regarding an incident during Game 4 of the NBA Finals. A fresh video of the two of them was made public on Saturday. The victim and McGregor seemed to be at a club after the alleged rape occurred at the Casilla Center in Miami, according to footage acquired by TMZ Sports. In the footage, McGregor and the woman can be seen conversing before the former UFC champion leaves the scene. The victim's attorney, Ariel Mitchell, told the publication that the footage showed the two visibly awkwardly interacting with each other. "My client has always stated that there would be video of before and after, and in those videos she emphasized that the difference in the interactions between them would be visibly noticeable," Mitchell said. "This again is another video that supports what my client has been saying and supports what she told the police since the inception of this incident." "While the claimant's story has changed yet again, our account of the evening has never changed," the statement said. "This video only reinforces our position. We look forward to the swift conclusion of the investigation." The accusations first appeared on Thursday. Mitchell detailed her client's claims in letters to the Miami Heat and the NBA. On Friday, another video from TMZ Sports seemed to show McGregor guiding the woman by the hand to a restroom. Before the door was closed, several persons could be seen standing beside it. After the footage was made public, Mitchell informed the publication that her client and McGregor had previously been seen together at a club within the arena. McGregor then went to the toilet, but a man in a Denver Nuggets jersey shortly informed her that, "Connor told me to come get you." Mitchell told the outlet her client had been under the impression that they were leaving the arena as previously discussed and did not even recall who led her into the restroom until seeing this video. Giannis said the claimant's lawyer now has changed her story, following the video's release. After the video was released by TMZ, the claimant's lawyer now has changed her story. Mr. McGregor welcomes the investigation, which he firmly believes will show the claims against him are false. After not responding to the demand for money made by claimant's counsel, she turned to the media to apply pressure. This is no more than a shakedown. But Mitchell, in a statement to Fox News Digital, denied the notion that the accusations were false or an attempted shakedown. Mr. McGregor's team can say this is a shakedown, these allegations are false, but the video is clear. A soon-to-be married man with a fourth baby on the way is himself leading a woman he doesn't know and not his pregnant fiancée into the bathroom, said Mitchell. Both the Heat and the NBA claim to be aware of the claims. The Miami Police Department stated that it is looking into a Sunday report, but it did not provide any other information. Billionaire cage match. WHO do Americans think would win Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg? Americans in the nation's capital predicted who would win in a cage match between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, the billionaire heads of two of the world's most powerful social media platforms. Elon Musk will take Zuckerberg to the ground, Rosemary, of Colorado, said. I hope he does. But Thomas, from Missouri, disagreed. I think Zuck's got him, Thomas said. I've seen a couple clips of him training jiu-jitsu. He looks pretty fit, he continued. And Elon, he's pretty old. Musk, the company's owner, and a few other users' Twitter conversation turned into a cage fight challenge from Musk to Zuckerberg. The CEO of Facebook and Instagram's parent company, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, uploaded a photo of Musk's tweet on Instagram along with the words, "Send me location." I think Mark Zuckerberg will have that, Kevin, from Maryland, said. I've seen him working out a lot. Carolyn, from California, also set her bets on Zuckerberg. I feel like he could get really into it and take it really seriously, she said. After studying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for almost a year under Dave Camarillo, a former coach for top UFC fighters, Zuckerberg recently won a competition in Silicon Valley. But a few years ago, Musk revealed to Joe Rogan that he had trained in Jiu-Jitsu and martial arts as a youngster. I guess maybe Elon Musk would win, Kayla, of Maryland, said. He has a bigger build. Andrew, from Arizona, also said he would put his money on Musk. It really depends on who can throw the hardest punch in the first 10 seconds, he said. I don't know about Zuckerberg. Musk said on Monday that he will begin working out with two-time champion and UFC Hall of Famer Georges St-Pierre, a French-Canadian fighter. Musk stated that the battle should take place in the Las Vegas UFC octagon if it were to take place, which has not been formally announced. The UFC president told TMZ Sports on June 22 that he has confirmed the seriousness of the proposed fight between the two multi-billionaires and that it would be the biggest fight ever in the history of the world, and shatter all pay-per-view records. These guys would raise hundreds of millions of dollars for charity, White said. You don't have to be a fighting fan to be interested in this fight. Everybody would want to see it. In his ESPYs speech, LeBron James rejects retirement rumors and confirms he will play in his 21st NBA season. The NBA's all-time leading scorer, the 38-year-old basketball player announced on Wednesday night after receiving the record-breaking performance award at the ESPYs. Several months ago, James said, he had doubts about his ability to continue playing, without cheating the game, and to still give everything to the game. The day I can't give everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today, he said at Wednesday's award ceremony. James, a four-time NBA champion and four-time league MVP, has hinted he might not play in his 21st season. His kid, who is about to begin his first season of collegiate basketball and will be available for the NBA draft in 2024, had also expressed a desire to play with him. James's 21st season will join him with Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, Robert Parrish, Kevin Willis, and Kevin Willis for the longest active streak in the NBA. They are only behind Vince Carter's 22-year career. James, who has 19 career starts and 4 Finals MVP awards, increased marginally from his career average of 27.2 points per game to 28.9 last season. In more than 35 minutes, he averaged 8.3 rebounds and 6.8 assists. Derek Jeter advises the Yankees to complete a massive trade before the deadline. The New York Yankees are competing for a playoff position with a few other teams down the stretch as they emerge from the All-Star break in 4th place in the American League East. It's uncertain whether the Yankees would participate actively in the trade deadline and make a huge acquisition to improve the squad. Legendary shortstop Derek Jeter would advise the team to make a significant move if you asked him. I believe that the San Diego Padres could get hot and really make some waves in the National League West. But if they don't, it's not too late, though the sun's starting to set, Jeter said before the MLB All-Star Game. If they don't have a good next couple of weeks, I wouldn't mind seeing the Yankees going out and getting Juan Soto. Especially because you don't know how long Aaron Judge is going to be out. You need some offense. I think it'd make sense. Jeter was questioned by Alex Rodriguez about Soto's game. It's already crowded in New York's outfield. The team has Harrison Bader, Giancarlo Stanton, Billy McKinney, and even Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in the outfield while Judge is out due to a toe ailment. Wherever he'd want to play, Jeter told. I'd put him in left or right. There is no hint that the 23-year-old would be available for trade by the deadline from the Padres. At the deadline the previous year, San Diego acquired Soto from the Washington Nationals. The rising star cost the Padres a ton of prospects. The Padres are in 4th place in the NL West with a record of 43-47. For the 3rd time in his career, Soto was named an All-Star this year. He is hitting 15 home runs while also having a .898 OPS. The trading deadline for this year is August 1st. Kevin Maxen, an assistant strength coach with the Jaguars, comes out as the league's first gay male coach. Kevin Maxen, the assistant strength and conditioning coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, made his sexual orientation public on Thursday, becoming the first out gay male coach in the NFL and in men's professional sports in the United States. Maxson decided to come out now for a variety of reasons, one of which is so that he may live openly with Nick, the man he has been seeing for 2 years. "I don't want to feel like I have to think about it anymore," Maxson, who joined the Jaguars staff last season, explained to Outsports. "I don't want to feel like I have to lie about who I am seeing or why I am living with someone else." "I want to be vocal in support of people living in how they want to live, but I also just want to live and not feel fear about how people will react." Maxson stated that his network of friends, family, and coworkers encouraged him to come out publicly. Maxson said he is hopeful his Jaguars colleagues accept his truth. "I have a pretty good sense of humor," he said. "So, a lot of the guys I can joke with and not take anything personally." In an environment that is diversifying, it is a privilege to work alongside Kevin, who is hard-working, dedicated and thriving as a strength and conditioning coach for the Jaguars, Jacksonville's Director of Player Development, Marcus Pollard, told Outsports. Former Jaguars center Brandon Linder also said Maxson was always someone he could lean on. "Kevin was a big part in helping me prepare every Sunday during my last year in the NFL," Linder said. "Kevin, I'm proud to call you a friend and excited to see what the future holds for you. Kev. I know your story can help so many people. You the man, all shall be well." After working as a strength and conditioning coach for the football teams of the Baylor Bears and Vanderbilt Commodores, Maxson was hired in Jacksonville. Maxson began working mostly with the linemen on both offense and defense after joining the Jaguars. He designed their exercise program and monitored everyone's development. Reports: Justin Herbert and the Chargers have reached a significant 5-year contract. Justin Herbert has been on the rise ever since he made a last-minute start for the Los Angeles Chargers in Week 2 of the 2020 NFL season. He received a prize on Tuesday. According to several sources, the quarterback and the organization decided on a 5-year deal. According to reports, Herbert's contract is for $262.5 million and includes guarantees. Later, the club revealed that Herbert and the team had reached a multi-year agreement. With the 6th overall choice in the 2020 draft, the Chargers picked Herbert out of Oregon. After Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa, he was picked as the 3rd quarterback in the class. In Week 2 of the 2020 campaign, he made his debut when Tyrod Taylor had an incident with a team trainer. In a defeat against the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions, he passed for 311 yards and 1 score. He started for the team going forward. He played in 17 games for Los Angeles last year, contributing to a 10-7 record in the competitive AFC West. He made his first postseason appearance, but the Chargers were defeated by the Jaguars in a devastating loss despite having a 27-7 halftime lead. Last season, Herbert threw for 4,739 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. He failed to be chosen for the Pro Bowl despite coming in 8th in the AP MVP poll. Herbert won't have to worry about money or a new contract at least until the offseason of 2030, with the club replenished and prepared to go. The squad gets back Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Gerald Everett on offense. In the first round of the spring draft, Los Angeles selected wide receiver Quentin Johnston. The former TCU star may have a chance to start as the team's 3rd receiver. The Dallas Cowboys signed Trevon Diggs to lucrative 5-year agreement. Reports: Trevon Diggs, a star defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys, is now committed to the team for the foreseeable future. Diggs reportedly agreed to a 5-year, $97 million deal on Tuesday, according to many sources. Additionally, Diggs will receive a $21.25 million signing bonus as part of the agreement, and if he meets certain incentive goals, he may earn as much as $104 million. The two-time Pro Bowler is now among the NFL's highest-paid cornerbacks according to the agreement. Stefon Diggs, a standout wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, has a younger brother named Diggs. The defensive back, who was named to the first team of the All-Pro in 2021, has earned a reputation for forcing errors. Throughout his first 3 seasons in the league, he has accumulated 17 interceptions. During his outstanding 2021 campaign, he pulled in 11 interceptions. Diggs was questioned about his future with the Cowboys earlier this summer. "Hopefully something gets figured out. I love Dallas. I love being here. We'll see," Diggs told reporters in May. Diggs will rank 6th among the highest-paid corners in the league with an average yearly salary of $19.4 million under the agreement. The Cowboys still need to deal with a few noteworthy players when the Diggs transaction is completed, maybe before the start of the season. Deals for Pro Bowl wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and right tackle Terrence Steele are allegedly also being negotiated by Dallas. Lamb's 5th-year option was exercised by the Cowboys, but unless the team signs the wide receiver to a long-term contract before the end of the 2024 season, he will be free agency. After this season, Steele, who is in the final year of his deal, will be an unrestricted free agent. Beyond 2023, the organization has shown interest in keeping Steele on staff. The front office's primary focus over the upcoming summer will probably be on concluding a long-term contract with outstanding linebacker Micah Parsons. Dak Prescott, the Cowboys' starting quarterback, has a contract with the organization until 2024, and the team appears to want to negotiate another multi-year deal with him. White Sox trade All-Star Lucas Giolito to the Angels. Los Angeles Angels chose to keep Shohei Ohtani for the rest of the season despite the strong likelihood that he would leave in the summer and made a deal that night. By acquiring Lucas Giolito from the Chicago White Sox, Los Angeles improved the quality of its starting rotation. Reynaldo Lopez was also acquired by the Angels in the transaction, and K.Y. Busch and Edgar Quero were transferred to Chicago. Giolito, an All-Star in 2019, has made 21 starts this season and has a record of 6-3. He has 131 strikeouts and a 3.79 ERA. Since the 2017 campaign, he has been a member of the White Sox. In the 2016-17 offseason, Chicago traded for him and Lopez from the Washington Nationals in exchange for Adam Eaton. This season, Lopez has made 43 appearances. His ERA is 4.29. Catcher Quero has spent time in the Angels organization's AA Rocket City. He had 3 home runs, a .718 OPS, and a .246 batting average. Busch has made appearances in Rocket City and the Arizona Complex League. He had a 5.88 ERA and 33 strikeouts in AA. As organizations, the Angels and White Sox are in quite different situations. According to Sports Illustrated, Los Angeles no longer appears to be hell-bent on acquiring a ton of prospects for Ohtani. With a record of 52-49, Los Angeles sits 7 games behind the Texas Rangers for the AL West lead. One of the favorites to win the AL Central was the White Sox, but they stumbled early. Chicago is 41-62 and 12.5 games behind of the Minnesota Twins in the division race. For Amed Rosario, the Dodgers send Noah Syndergaard to the Guardians. A previous National League Cy Young Award candidate and past All-Star, Noah Syndergaard was moved for the second straight season, this time by the Los Angeles Dodgers. On Wednesday, the Dodgers exchanged Syndergaard for shortstop Amed Rosario from the Cleveland Guardians. Additionally, both contestants were former New York Mets colleagues from 2017 to 2020. Rosario eventually became a part of the deal that sent Francisco Lindor to New York City and Syndergaard to the Los Angeles Angels following the 2021 season. The Philadelphia Phillies received Syndergaard in a trade from the Angels last year. Both teams are contending for the playoffs and probably believe the most recent move strengthens needs. The Guardians are now in second position in the American League Central, while Los Angeles led the American League West at the start of the day. Rosario had been batting after 94 games, .3 home runs, 40 RBI, a .675 OPS, and a 265 are his stats. For the Dodgers, Syndergaard made 12 appearances. He had 38 strikeouts and a 7.16 ERA. For the Mets, Syndergaard was an all-star in 2016. He struck out 218 times and had a 2.60 ERA. He has suffered over several years due to injuries. In the Mets system, Rosario was a top 10 prospect who later rose to prominence with the Guardians after being dealt by New York. Aaron Rodgers blasts NFL coach Sean Payton over inappropriate remarks. Sean Payton's remarks against Nathaniel Hackett, the current offensive coordinator for the New York Jets, didn't sit well with Aaron Rodgers. In an interview with USA Today, Payton torched Hackett and the Broncos coaching staff for 2022. Since their time with the Green Bay Packers, Rodgers has been a steadfast backer of Hackett. After leaving his position as head coach of the Broncos the previous season as the Packers' offensive coordinator, Hackett joined Rodgers in the Jets. The four-time MVP was at Jets training camp on Sunday talking with NFL Network's Peter Schrager when he torched Payton for his comments. "Yeah, I love Nathaniel Hackett. And those comments were very surprising for a coach to do that to another coach," Rodgers said. "My love for Hackett goes deep. We had some great years together in Green Bay. Kept in touch. Love him and his family. Incredible family man, incredible dad. And on the field, he's arguably my favorite coach I've ever had in the NFL. His approach to it, how he makes it fun. How he cares about the guys. Just how he goes about his business, with respect, with leadership, with honestly, with integrity. And it made me feel bad that someone who's accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure that they have to take another man down to set themselves up for some sort of easy fall if it doesn't go well for that team this year." "I thought it was way out of line, inappropriate, and I think he needs to keep my coaches' names out of his mouth." Payton apologized on Friday after he called the Broncos' 2022 season one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. "Listen, I had one of those moments where I still had my Fox hat on and not my coaching hat on," Payton said. "I said this to the team. We've had a great off-season relative to that. I've been preaching that message, and here I am, the veteran, stepping in it. It was a learning experience for me, a mistake, obviously. I need a little bit more filter. I needed a bit more restraint. I regret that." Before the deadline, Blue Jays swipe Yankees trade target from Cardinals. Before the MLB trade deadline, reliever Jordan Hicks of the St. Louis Cardinals was among the top players available, and on Sunday, the National League Central team found a home for him. Sam Roberts and Adam Kloffenstein, both right-handed pitchers in the minor league, were acquired by the Cardinals from the Toronto Blue Jays in exchange for Hicks. With the deadline drawing near, John Mozeliak, president of baseball operations for St. Louis, promised organizational changes. The Blue Jays claimed Hicks after the St. Louis Post-Dispatch revealed that he and outfielder Dylan Carlson had drawn interest. The Yankees, attempting to climb out of a hole in the American League East, might have benefited by adding a reliever. Still, their divisional foe made a wise decision. This season, Hicks has made 40 appearances and has a 3.67 ERA with 59 strikeouts. A career-high 12.7/9 ratio belongs to him. At 59.46, Toronto began the day third in their division. According to some sources, St. Louis also sent Jordan Montgomery to the Texas Rangers. After the Hicks and Montgomery trades were completed, Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol told the Post-Dispatch that a decent amount of talent just walked out. Roberts, a Dutchman, had been employed with the Jays since 2019. In Double-A New Hampshire, he had 86 strikeouts and a 4.06 ERA. 2018 saw Kloffenstein enter the Toronto system. This season, he pitched for Double-A New Hampshire and had a 3.24 ERA and 105 strikeouts. At the MLB trade deadline, the Mets sell their second ace as Justin Verlander rejoins the Astros. Just before the MLB trade deadline, Justin Verlander is back with the Astros, making it a Houston reunion. Max Scherzer was previously traded by the Mets to the Texas Rangers because their 2023 season hasn't gone as planned. According to MLB Pipeline, the top prospect for the Astros is outfielder Drew Gilbert, while the fourth best prospect in the team's minor league system is outfielder Ryan Clifford. The whole transaction, which has been made public, includes Verlander and financial considerations. The Mets are allegedly paying Verlander's deal a total of $35.5 million over the following 2 years as part of those monetary considerations. Verlander will receive an additional $17.5 million if he chooses to exercise his 2025 option for that season. Verlander's 2-year, $86.67 million contract, which includes a no-trade provision, required him to consent to the return to Houston, just like it did for Scherzer. Verlander granted the go-ahead to move the contract toward moving to the familiar Houston franchise in 2022, where he just won the Cy Young Award and the World Series. By matching Scherzer's 3-year, $130 million contract, which he signed last season to go to Queens, and his $43.3 million annual average value, the Mets acquired the 40-year-old Verlander this winter. The Mets have now parted ways with the two most expensive players in league history per year as owner Steve Cohen focuses on developing his youthful core. Gilbert, who was selected by the Mets with the 28th overall choice in the 2022 MLB Draft, joins the collection of prospects they acquired in recent high-profile transactions. In the Scherzer transaction, Luis Angel Acua, Ronald Acua Jr.'s younger brother, was acquired. The New York Mets have a payroll of $344 million, which is higher than the next closest team, the New York Yankees, who have $278 million, but they are at the bottom of the NL East this season. Verlander is in his 19th MLB season, and despite not pitching to his Cy Young potential this year, he still has a 3.15 ERA over 94.1 innings. His skills are required since the Astros rotation, which includes rotation pitchers Jose Urquidy, Luis Garcia, and Lance McCullers Jr., all of whom are on the 60-day disabled list, has the fifth best team ERA in MLB, 3.82. Verlander was moved to Houston during the 2017 season while still playing for the Detroit Tigers, and he enjoyed tremendous success there. With the Astros, Verlander has a 2.26 ERA in 652 innings pitched over 5 seasons with 825 strikeouts. After argument, he hasn't had success since Cavs days. WIYH LeBron James, Kyrie Irving has a warning for NBA. One of the most effective NBA point guards, when he's on the court, is Kyrie Irving. But there is a set of detractors who keep reminding him that since he was with LeBron James, his teams haven't had much success. Only with James and the Cleveland Cavaliers did Irving ever make it to the NBA Finals. The Cavs made it to the NBA Finals 4 times in a row between 2014 and 2018, and they gave Cleveland a title after beating the Golden State Warriors in the 2015-16 campaign. Irving hasn't replicated that success since he asked for a trade following the 2016-17 season after losing in the finals for the 3rd time in 4 years and ending up with the Boston Celtics. But Irving isn't giving the argument much credence. He wrote on Twitter, "Pin this tweet and see what happens in the next few years." In 290 regular season games since leaving the Cavaliers, Irving has produced well, averaging 25.8 points and 5.9 assists while shooting 49% from the field and 39.9% from beyond the arc. He also averaged 4.7 rebounds, 1.3 steals, and a 90.1% free throw shooting percentage. The Celtics' first season in Boston, when they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, marked the closest any of his teams had come to the finals since his stint in Cleveland. Irving had left knee surgery before missing those playoffs. After the Boston Celtics' second-round loss to the Milwaukee Bucks in 2019, Irving joined Kevin Durant's Brooklyn Nets club. Even when James Harden joined the team, the Nets were never able to live up to their promise. In 2022, Irving's final postseason appearance with the Nets, they were swept by the Celtics in the first round. In the end, Irving was moved to the Dallas Mavericks, who this offseason signed him to a long-term contract. Jimmy Johnson misses out on unanimous election to Hall of Fame, upset NASCAR world. Along with Donnie Allison and Chad Knaus, Jimmy Johnson was one of the racing greats honored on Wednesday by being inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. During his career, Johnson shares the record for the most NASCAR Cup Championship wins with Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt, with 7. The first 5 were all consecutive for Johnson. At 5 different tracks, including Auto Club Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Dover International Speedway, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and Texas Motor Speedway, he is also the driver with the most victories overall. In addition, he was the first racing driver to receive the American Male Athlete of the Year award from the Associated Press. He also won Driver of the Year 5 times. In total, he won 83 cups. Despite all of Johnson's achievements, he did not win the election with a unanimous vote. A 57-person panel, made up of NASCAR executives, drivers, crew chiefs, journalists, and industry contributors, gave him barely 93% of the vote. Knaus seemed to take exception. "If he isn't a unanimous vote, I don't know that anybody ever will be," Knaus said. "He's the nicest guy and the best to ever sit in a NASCAR race car. He contributes to our sport and to society in so many different ways through the Jimmy Johnson Foundation. He is the ideal picture of a Hall of Fame inductee. Knaus was not the only person to take an issue. Still, Johnson was honored to go into the hall. "I wouldn't say there was doubt, but it was great to hear my name called," he said, via NASCAR.com. "They had so many key moments to this 19-year career I had which have led to this opportunity in the hall, and those emotions just started running through my brain, through my mind." Elon Musk says that the fight with Mark Zuckerberg will be shown live on X. Elon Musk declared on Sunday that his next mixed martial arts match with Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg will be broadcast live on the website previously known as Twitter, with all the proceeds going to charity for veterans. The bout has not yet been scheduled. However, the UFC Apex in Nevada has been the suggested destination. Both guys have been working out, and Musk has been reporting back to his fans on how it's going. "I'm lifting weights throughout the day, preparing for the fight," Musk wrote on X. "Don't have time to work out, so I just bring them to work." The first episode of X videos, Musk added. He did not immediately provide further details. Earlier this year, Musk sent Zuckerberg a mixed martial arts cage fight challenge. The Tesla and SpaceX founder tweeted that he was up for a cage match with Zuckerberg, who is trained in jiu-jitsu. The Facebook founder responded, "Send location," to which Musk retorted, "Vegas Octagon." In preparation for the anticipated cage bout, the Meta CEO looked to be working out with Israel Adesanya and Alexander Volkanovski, the UFC champion. In recent weeks, podcaster Lex Fridman and UFC superstar Georges St. Pierre have been training with Elon Musk. Zuckerberg had doubts about whether the fight would happen at all. However, according to UFC president Dana White, the two millionaires were absolutely dead serious about a prospective fight. This would be the biggest fight ever in the history of the world. Bigger than anything that's ever been done, it would break all pay-per-view records. These guys would raise hundreds of millions of dollars for charity, White. Since Meta unveiled its brand new Threads platform, a competitor to Twitter, in recent weeks, the fight among the billionaire social media moguls has intensified. Musk threatened legal action, claiming that Zuckerberg's business had built their version of the app using trade secrets and other intellectual property from Twitter. Guardians, Jose Ramirez continues to play after Tim Anderson fight, MLB weighing discipline. The day after getting into a brawl with shortstop Tim Anderson, Cleveland Guardians star Jose Ramirez was back in the lineup for the series finale against the Chicago White Sox on Sunday. The designated hitter position was assigned to Ramirez. Anderson was benched by the White Sox for the contest. MLB was still investigating the altercation, which took the umpires roughly 15 minutes to resolve. In total, 6 players were removed from the game. Anderson wasn't hurt, according to White Sox manager Pedro Grifol, and his absence from the starting lineup was a planned day off. He said that Andrew Benintendi and Andrew Vaughn were on rest in Chicago. "He's okay," Grifol said of Anderson. "He was going to get a day off today just like Benny and Vaughn. It might not look that way, but it is what it is." He refrained from describing Anderson's behavior and refused to go into detail about the circumstances of the altercations or potential punishment. I'm not going to get into that, Griffel said. I've had my conversations with Tim, but I'm not going to get into anything that happened last night. I'll let MLB take care of all that stuff, but I'm not going to talk about the fight. The altercation took place with the White Sox leading 5-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ramirez slipped between Anderson's knees and into second base. The gloves came off when the two exchanged words. Ramirez knocked Anderson to the ground during their altercation. Talking about the fight, Ramirez had words for Anderson. I felt I was able to land one, Ramirez said. He's been disrespecting the game for a while, he continued. When he does something like that on the bases, he can get somebody out of the game. So I was telling him to stop doing that. After he tapped me really hard, more than needed, he said he wanted to fight and I had to defend myself. After the game, Anderson was unavailable for comment. Along with the other 4 players who were taken to the showers early, Ramirez and Anderson will all be suspended for an extended period. Anderson had to be dragged off the field physically,